Interesting facts about Antarctica. Freezing is one word that might come into your mind when you hear Antarctica, and you're not wrong because, after all, it is the coldest place on Earth. But if you think that the temperature in Antarctica is the only thing that will make you feel chilly, these interesting facts might just send shivers down your spine. With that said, here are fun and interesting facts about Antarctica that you probably didn't know. Antarctica is the only continent with no permanent residents or citizens. People living there, like scientists, only stay for around 3 to 6 months for research purposes. There are no polar bears in Antarctica, only in the Arctic, because no bears resided or survived at the South Pole after Pangaea broke apart. Most people staying in Antarctica are Christians, having more than 70% of the continent's population. Following that is a combination of atheists and people who chose not to disclose their religion. The Antarctic desert is the largest in the world, double the size of the Sahara Desert. The polar environment is considered a polar desert since it rarely rains or snows there. Silvia Morella de Palma gave birth to Emilio Marcos Palma in 1978 at Esperanza Base, making Emilio the first person to be born in Antarctica. Antarctica Day is celebrated every December 1st to commemorate the signing of the Antarctic Treaty. There are 70 permanent research stations in Antarctica. The largest one is McMurdo Station, which has the capability of having thousands of residents. The U.S. built it in December 1955 for scientific research and the logistics hub of the U.S. Antarctic program. The poop of Antarctic penguins is called guano. It contains high amounts of nitrous oxide, famously known as laughing gas due to its ability to create a euphoric effect when inhaled. Antarctic fishes have antifreeze proteins that make them survive Antarctica's freezing water. Adolf Hitler sent an expedition to Antarctica to harvest whale oil, essential for making margarine and lubricating weapons. Antarctica wasn't covered in ice for more than 100 million years. Paleontologists found fossils, including frogs, birds, and even dinosaurs discovered on the continent. There were 16,500 condoms sent to Antarctica in 2008. They're free of charge and can be seen in numerous bathrooms of McMurdo Station. Condoms were shipped to the research station to prevent pregnancy, as McMurdo Station's clinics have limited capabilities for handling pregnant women. This is also why a pregnancy test is required for a woman before going to Antarctica. There are months when the sun doesn't rise in Antarctica. It happens during Antarctica's winter as it's tilted away from the sun, which prevents the sun from rising there. And the sun doesn't set when it's summer in Antarctica because the continent is now tilted towards the sun. Sharks can't survive in Antarctica because of the cold temperatures. The only exception was a type of sand tiger shark called Striatylamia macrota, which are now extinct, as its teeth were discovered on Seymour Island, an ice-free island in Antarctica. People who've stayed in Antarctica have a saying, "If you sweat, you die." It's because sweating causes hypothermia in polar environments like Antarctica. Although, this deadly problem can be prevented by regulating body temperature by properly layering clothes. On September 19, 2022, Elon Musk announced that his satellite internet provider, Starlink, can be accessed on all continents, including Antarctica. The total number of tourists that visited Antarctica from 2017 to 2018 amounted to 51,707, which was a massive increase as there were only 38,478 visitors from 2015 to 2016. According to a Denmark-based travel booking platform, April to September is the worst time to visit Antarctica due to colder temperatures and having little to no sunlight. Traveling to Antarctica is so expensive that an Antarctic expedition launched in January 2022 by Antarctica 21 was priced around $4,995 to $14,995 USD per person, depending on your chosen itinerary. John George Bartholomew, a cartographer, was the first to put Antarctica on maps in 1886. On March 25, 1988, the Balleny Islands in Antarctica experienced an 8.1 magnitude earthquake, which became the strongest earthquake in the continent. That size of an earthquake is enough to make Burj Khalifa collapse. According to the observation of NASA scientists, the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami in Japan that occurred in March 2011 created new icebergs in Antarctica. There are only 2 ice sheets in the world, the Antarctic and Greenland ice sheets, and Antarctica has the largest one as it covers 5.3 million square miles. Airlines avoid Antarctica in their route due to the continent's whiteouts that can affect a pilot's visibility. But on October 6, 2021, Qantas Airways flew across Antarctica and the Pacific Ocean. It was a 17-hour and 25-minute non-stop flight from Argentina to Australia, breaking the company's record for the longest commercial flight in its history. Antarctica is almost equivalent to the size of the United States and Mexico combined, or twice the size of Australia. According to a study in 2017, there are 138 volcanoes in Antarctica. Most are either dormant or covered in ice sheets, but there are currently 2 active volcanoes, Mount Erebus and Deception Island. Antarctica's air is one of the cleanest in the world, making it a perfect place for researchers to know how our environment changes due to nature and humans. About 70,000 killer whales live in Antarctica. They reside in this continent because some of their prey are seals and penguins living in the polar environment. Antarctica has 70% of Earth's freshwater frozen in its ice sheet, which can make the sea level rise whenever it melts or collapses. The continent's ice sheet is also responsible for 90% of Earth's ice. We've reached the end of these Antarctica facts. We hope you learned something new about the coldest and most beautiful place on Earth. From fossils that indicate Antarctica wasn't always frozen, to a glacier that looks like a blood waterfall, the continent proves that we still have a lot to learn about our planet.